here we are. Fall's finally here, guys. The air is cool and crisp, just the way I like it. It's October, and you know, we have gone from, you know, our summer heat, and it lasted right into fall. But here this weekend we had a cold front come in here at Arkansas, and now it feels like fall, and I'm really excited. But with it being October, that means it's getting closer and closer time to the holidays, because next month will be Thanksgiving, and then we go right into Christmas about that fast. So me and a couple of gals got together and thought, you know, I've had a lot of subscribers ask, Lori, would you please do some pie recipes and cookies and different desserts, stuff for the holidays. So Tammy from Little Jordan Farm, she asked me because she was wanting to do a collaboration. And I said, sure, I'd love to do one. And she wanted it to be about pies. So we went from pies and then to the concept of maybe your old-fashioned pies, you know, that the women made years and years ago, recipes for that. And then we just decided, well, it's getting so close to the holidays, we'll just incorporate it all. That way our subscribers will be getting some good old-fashioned pie recipes close to the holidays, and there you go. So I told her, yes, I'd love to do it. And so I got a hold of Miss Vicki from Vicki's Country Home, and I asked her if she wanted to help us out with it, because she's a really good baker. And she said, sure. She said, I would love to. So me and Miss Vicki and Miss Tammy decided we'd do a pie collaboration. So this is our October pie collaboration. And what we're going to do is at the end of each one of our videos, we're going to tag a few people. I'm going to tag 3 different channels to come up and join us and make their favorite pie recipe. So if we all do that and we just go down the line and each one of us tag a channel to do their pie recipe, we might end up with a bunch of good pies. So with that being said, I think we're going to get started today with my first pie. Is going to be, I've had some subscribers ask me, Miss Lori, would you please do a video on making a pumpkin pie out of fresh pumpkin, because pumpkins are coming off and people are getting their pie pumpkins and they're really getting excited and wanting to make pumpkin pie and different stuff like that. So I said, sure. I said, that'll be my first video. So today we're going to be making fresh pumpkin pie. I'm going to leave down in the description box, I'm going to leave down the link to the playlist. And it's October pie collaboration playlist. And each time one of the tag channels uploads and does their pie video, I'm going to add it, or they're going to add it to the playlist. So we're hoping that each channel gets on that playlist, so there'll be plenty of pies on there. So I'm not going to tell you who I'm tagging yet. I got 3 channels, 3 beautiful ladies. Well, actually 4, because one of the channels has got 2. And they're from different sides of the country. One of them's even across the pond, over the ocean. And I'm going to tell you at the end of the video. So if you're watching, you better stay tuned and stay to the end of the video to see who I tag. So I'm really excited about this collaboration. Miss Vicki from Vicki's Country Home and Tammy from Little Jordan's Farm. Both beautiful, kind women that I'm so blessed to be friends with. We talk pretty much every day. So even though we live thousands of miles apart, we still feel like we're together right here. And that's been such a blessing with having this YouTube channel, because my subscribers, I feel that way with my subscribers, the other channels that I've become friends with. I think a lot of everybody. So I thank all of y'all, especially my subscribers, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. So thank y'all, love you. So let's get started on our pie collaboration. Let's get started on our fresh pumpkin pie. Happy fall. We're going to start out by cooking our pumpkin to make our pumpkin puree for our pie. And I'm going to do it the easy way this morning because I've got to go to work. So usually I would cook my pumpkin and roast it in the oven, but today we're going to cook it in the slow cooker. And I've got it cut in half because it wouldn't fit in there. A lot of people just stick it in their whole, but it wouldn't fit in mine. So I cut mine in half, and then I'm going to cook it with the cut side up. This is the size sugar pumpkins. They're pie pumpkins I got, and they're still too big for the slow cooker. But like I said, I usually roast them in the oven, so I wasn't really worried about it. But anyways, off to work I go, as usual. So I want to make my pie when I get home from work. So I put about 1/4 cup of water in here. You don't really need much more than that because they're going to put out a little bit of juice. Now, if I was roasting them in the oven, I would turn them the other way with cut side down. But cooking in a slow cooker, I'm going to cook them this way. I don't want them all falling apart in the bottom of the slow cooker. So I've got it set on low for 8 hours. And it should be good and done when I get back. And we'll make us a good old-fashioned fresh pumpkin pie. Hey guys, I'm back from work, and my pumpkins have been cooking in the slow cooker all day. And I'm really excited because they're good and tender. And I know some of y'all are probably going to ask, Lori, why'd you leave the seeds and stuff inside before you put them in the slow cooker? And I want to show you why. Okay, you can see my pumpkins in here. I had left them, remember I cooked them cut side up. And they're still good and tender, and they're still hot, but I'm going to pick it up because I want to show you. Cooking it with the seeds and all that stuff still inside, it's a lot easier to get that stuff out after it's cooked than it is before. Before, you're just digging and digging and scraping and scraping. So this is a lot easier. Just make sure you don't get too much of the pumpkin with it. But most of the stringy stuff comes off, and you can get all your seeds. Now I'm going to keep my seeds. But that's how easy it was to get that out of there. So now that I've got all the seeds out of both the sides of the pumpkin, we're going to scrape now the flesh out, and we'll blend it up. I think I used my hand blender and puree it a little bit, make it good and smooth for our pumpkin pie. Let's get busy and get this good old pumpkin out of these pumpkin shells. All that good fleshy meat. All you got to do is just take a spoon, and it's really, you can see how it has really cooked up in that slow cooker, and it's pulling away from the pumpkin shell really well. So, you know, sometimes we just have to do things to make things easier on ourselves. So I don't have any problem using a slow cooker for stuff like this. But if you're not able to use a slow cooker, or you don't have one, you can roast it in the oven just fine. Now it will take, for this size pumpkin, it usually takes about 1.5 hours for it to cook up really good and get good and soft. But you just keep scraping and scraping. And I can tell you, most of my whole family love pumpkin pie. And they've always been so used to making pumpkin pie out of pumpkin out of a can. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've done it for many years. But if you can ever get yourself a fresh, good pie pumpkin, there's just no comparison. But I've made many pies out of canned pumpkin. So I got that one pretty much, put it down here in my bowl for my chickens. Now I'm going to take my second one and do it the same way. Just pull out that good tender pumpkin. Now this is going to, the recipe I'm doing today, it just calls for 2 cups of fresh pumpkin. So if there's any left over, I'll just put it in a bag and put it in the freezer until I cook up some more pumpkin. It's about that easy. Now you can do this with your, same way with your butternut squash. And Mr. Brown loves butternut squash pie. He said he really likes it better than pumpkin pie, but I think he was just saying that. He's like me, he just likes pie, period. It don't matter. But I'm so glad that you're here with me on this pie collaboration, because this is really a good time to have a pie collaboration with the holidays coming up so quick. And you know, most tables will be dressed with all kinds of different homemade pies for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So for us to get together and cook all these different pies, it might help y'all, give y'all some different ideas for your holiday pies. So I've got that out. I'm going to put this down here for my chickens. I was checking to make sure I didn't have any, because I found one seed in there and there's another one. See? My kids and Danny will tell you. So that's 2 seeds I missed. But my kids and Danny will tell you there's 3. And I try so hard, I really do. But they'll tell you that when I make chicken dressing or chicken and dumplings, chicken and noodles. No, not chicken dressing. Chicken and dumplings, chicken noodles, something like that. That 9 out of 10 times somebody's going to find one of them little bones in there, and I do not understand why, because I nitpick that stuff so much. I don't know. I think they think I do it on purpose. I don't know, but they always find a little bitty piece of chicken bone in there. So I've got that mushed up pretty good. I mean, it's so tender that you don't have to work at it very hard to get mushed up. But what I want to do is I'm going to use my little hand immersion blender and really get it pureed up really good. Y'all, I got this, and I've talked about this before, but I got this at down in Texas at the Goodwill store with Julie, my cousin Julie. I got this for $2. I mean, and it works so good. I just love it. Okay. I think that's good enough for me. It's good and blend it up. And I'm going to measure out 2 cups. Now usually pumpkin pie is always one of the main pies that people have during the holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas. They always have pumpkin pie. I want you to look how pretty. That's just a real pretty orange, got a little bit of yellow in it, but it's just a beautiful color. This is an Amish sugar pie pumpkin, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. And that's about 2 cups. And you see how much I've got left over in the bowl from that one pumpkin. And I could pretty much make maybe another smaller pie of this, but what I'll do is after I cook some more of my pumpkins, I'll just keep adding it to the bag in the freezer. What I'll probably do is measure this out, and it looks like it's going to be a cup at least. And I'll put a cup on my bag so I know to put another cup in there with it. But there's just nothing any better than fresh pumpkin. And this is the size of the pumpkin. Y'all seen it? So what I'm going to do is I got 2 cups. I'm going to put this in a bag, and we're going to come back and we're going to get our pie filling mixed up. It's an easy recipe. It's just an old-fashioned, nothing fancy pumpkin pie. Filling together. Now we got our 2 cups of our beautiful fresh pumpkin puree, and I'm just going to put it in our bowl. Now I've got my oven heated to 350. Now there's a lot of recipes, and I've cooked them that way before too, where you heat your oven 425. You put your pumpkin pie in there for 15 minutes, and you turn it down 350. I quit doing that. And my pumpkin pie comes out just as good. So, I just turn it 350 and cook it for about 40 minutes till the very middle is good and set. So, I just, I don't know, that 425, 15 minutes, I just quit doing it, and it still turns out. So, that's just up to you. But my oven's at 350. So what we're going to put in here is 2 cups of puree. I'm going to put, because I love cinnamon, I'm going to put about 3/4 of a teaspoon. Now if you don't like that much cinnamon, put about a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And in my measuring cup here, I've got a 1/2 cup of white sugar and a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And I'm just going to pour it all in there. I'm going to put just a pinch of salt. And I think I'm going to put about a 1/2 of a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. Now pumpkin pie spice does have a little bit of cinnamon in it, so that's why you might want to cut back on your cinnamon a little bit. But I do love cinnamon. So, 1/2 teaspoon. Well, my 1/2 teaspoon went to a teaspoon, but that'll be okay. Okay, so all that's left is 2 eggs. And I told y'all this is an easy recipe. Pumpkin pie is a really easy pie to make, and it's just a pie that most people just really love. So that's 2 eggs, and I've got 12 ounces of evaporated milk. Not sweetened, condensed, evaporated. So now we're just going to stir all this up. Now I don't know, I can remember in my family, Grandma always made the same pies every year for Thanksgiving. And I'll tell you why. Because people look forward to it all year long. Well, she made them at Thanksgiving and Christmas. She would make a couple of pecan pies. She made really good pecan pies. Because, you know, other than Thanksgiving and Christmas, people really just didn't go to trouble making pecan pies, so it's something we look forward to. Plus, because pecans are so high. Unless you're blessed to have a pecan tree. She'd make a couple pumpkin pies, and she always made cream pies. She always made chocolate pies, coconut cream. I'm trying to think. Of course, we would always bring dessert too, so that was her main pies. But it just seems like that's really in like a good old apple pie. That's just usually the good, normal, comfort holiday pies. You just can't help it. That's just what everybody likes. And then you got people in the family that want to bring, you know, the really fancy desserts. And hang on a minute. The fancy desserts like and I do them, I call them fancy, they're really not, like trifles and you know, desserts like that. And we always have stuff like cupcakes and cookies and stuff for the little kids. Stuff that they can grab and go. And go outside and run and holler and play. Now I've got this mixed up pretty good. That didn't take long. And it smells really good. I can smell the nutmeg and the cloves and the cinnamon. So, a lot of recipes call for a little bit of flour. I'm not going to put any flour in here. It'll cook up just fine. So that's it. So I'm going to get my crust out. And we're going to get our filling in there, and then we'll get it in the oven. Okay, let's get this pie in the oven, guys. Now I'm going to put a link down below in the description box of my pie crust, my recipe for my pie crust. It's just an easy, simple pie crust. And I want to show you a little trick, and a lot of y'all may have already know this. I took an egg white, and I just beat it till it gets good and frothy. And to keep from having a soggy crust, I want to take this froth of this egg white, and I just want to take it and rub it all over my pie crust, just like this, all the way around. And I like to do this with my cream pies, because, you know, a lot of time your cream pies, the bottom crust will get really soggy. So, there you go. Now we're going to pour. And I'm looking at this filling, and I'm thinking, I don't know if my pie pan's going to hold all of it, but we're going to see. And it's not real thick. It's a thin, and that's the way I want it, because I want a light, creamy pumpkin pie. Yeah, I'll get it all in here. Woo, it's getting close. I mean, lippin' full. I'll have to put it on a cookie sheet. But there you go. Now, one little thing that I do like to do to my pumpkin pies is I like to take, some people sprinkle a little cinnamon on top. I like to take a little brown sugar and just barely just kind of sprinkle it over the top. Just like that. Now, I'm going to try to get this in the oven without spilling it. This recipe will make, whoops, sorry people. This recipe will make 2 regular sized pies or a deep dish. And this was my deep dish. Maybe it's not deep enough, because I usually just make 2 regular pies. But we're going to get this in the oven, 350, and I'm going to set the timer for 40 minutes. So we can't end the video without Mr. Brown doing the taste test.
The official taste tester.
I know he really doesn't like this job.
I really hate to run. I just had some real good chicken and sausage gumbo.
Yeah.
And I'm going to run the taste of that good food with this pie.
You're going to run?
Not really. Fresh pumpkin pie. It tastes like fresh pumpkin.
Yes, it does.
Not too sweet. Light. Kind of fluffy. They're good.
That's good.
Really good.
There's a big difference between fresh and canned pumpkin, isn't there?
Big difference.
I mean, it just tastes like pumpkin.
That's really good, dear.
Okay, thank you. This is when I get to tag 3 different channels. So the first one I'm going to tag is Linda from the Little Homestead, and she lives way over the pond in New Zealand. And she is just this beautiful, soft-spoken lady who, she just wants to show us, you know, the way they cook over there, her different, the way she bakes some beautiful things. And she has the cutest little granddaughter, and she'll get on there and bake with her grandma, and it's the sweetest thing you ever seen. So I'm tagging you, Linda, from the little homestead. My number 2 tag is Helga's Pennsylvania Cooking. And I've been watching this lady. I've been watching Helga for a long, long time. And I'm here to tell you this lady can cook. And I thought, I'm going to tag her because I know that she would bring some good pies to the table. So I'm excited about that. And she is such a kind and sweet person. And then we've got Ingrid and Astrid from Divine Times 2. That's Divine Times 2. And if I'm saying this right, I'm thinking they're from California. I hope I didn't get that mixed up. But this is a new channel. They do some wonderful cooking. And I feel like they can bring a different, I love different cuisines and different ways that people bake and cook in different parts of the, you know, the United States, the world, whatever. So, Divine Times 2, Ingrid and Astrid, you're my 3rd tag. So, I'm excited about this, and we're going to see what all these ladies bring to the table, and I have a feeling it's going to be some good pies. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is my first pie video for the season, for the holidays, for the October pie collaboration. And I'll have 2 more that I'll do for this collaboration. So, y'all stay tuned for that. Now, my next video I'm going to do for a subscriber, it's going to be, you know, sometimes I like, because I grew up having to eat, of course, what we raised and processed or whatever, but we had to eat cheaply. You know, we couldn't just go buy, you know, every time we decided we wanted something different. We couldn't run to the grocery store and just buy whatever. So we made frugal meals, and this is going to be a good frugal meal. So stay tuned for that one. It's a good homestead, stick to your ribs meal. So that'll probably be coming out this weekend. So stay with us. God bless y'all. I love you all. And we'll see you next time.